I do not envy you, man.
We should be here. We should be here. Doc's not there, though.
Where am I?
Doc is grey. Doc is back. And gone very pixely.
What?
You're back, but gone very pixely.
Ah, lovely.
Low quality Doc.
Do you think it's my end?
No, it's his end. Definitely this end. Da, da, da. Right. Hopefully, Doc won't keep going low quality, Doc. Oh, sorry about that. New setup, new issues, new everything.
I see me.
So, quick introduction. We're here for season 2, episode 4. If you didn't see the tweet, I now have a beautiful co-host in Dr Oculus VR. He's here.
I'm glad. I'm glad you find my beauty so alluring.
He's here to help everything. I'm very
Sadly, not
worried
as
why
good as the avatar.
my avatars are going very like 10 frames per second for me, Lord. Is it on the stream?
No.
We will find out how it goes. It's a test. It's a test. If anything,
Paul only said that once. If you heard it twice, say so now.
you're probably at 15 frames. I thought. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Fix it in post.
A new layout, a new layout, a new mess about. We are coming together. Yeah, so Doc is now going to be co-host. He'll be here every month. Hopefully not as pixely every month as what I'm seeing.
Sorry.
I think the problem is I've got so many things capturing different things. In the future, Doc, you might have to just put up with seeing me in Discord with a headset on my face.
That's totally fine by me. I'm fine with it. I'm not even looking at you right now, anyway.
To be fair, yeah, you'll probably
Too busy staring
watching.
at my gorgeous face.
So yeah, we will get on with the show. So yes, we still might bring guests in. I will still be looking for guests. We've gone with this new layout just to make it a bit easier because there's massive performance issues in the EOS, and sometimes when trying to get guests, there has been pushback because they can't be bothered downloading the EOS, or they don't want to get involved in it that way. So at least this
It's
way
definitely
we miss.
a barrier to entry, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a barrier gone as well. There's that barrier gone. So it'll make it easier. We can all just jump in Discord with webcams and get it going. Is this a threat?
Yeah. But thank you for inviting me on this journey with you, man. It's
Yeah, I've enjoyed the
been a hot minute.
last ones we did about PlayStation VR. I really enjoyed those ones, so it's good to have a co-host again.
Well, I will. It's not a threat, Mr. Ball. I will, in fact, be kind, probably. But yeah, so it'll like everything great. It will evolve over the coming months and become the glorious VRverse that we all envision it to be.
Yep, definitely. The last 2 episodes we had something very very particular to talk about, which was what we're looking for.
This new headset came out.
PlayStation VR 2 come out. And
oh yeah, that thing.
I mean, it's still been one of the most used headsets I've got still at the moment. I'm still finding myself jumping into that quite often.
I'm actively trying not to like become a PSVR 2 streamer. But I like the catalog is building up as we speak. You've the eyeball one. What's it called? Between the eyes, behind the eyes, before your eyes,
beyond your eyes. I always call it the wrong
something
thing
to do with eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've played that, haven't you? But that's on my to-do list. I accidentally pre-ordered it, and yet still haven't played it.
Yeah. I pre-ordered it.
Finished Resident
Evil
though, so calling it a win.
Yeah, you've
Horizon's
spent your time
next.
doing that. You've spent your time doing that, so you've got a big.
Exactly.
I've just been.
And I want to get the wheel out.
Yeah, I've just been jumping between bits of everything. I mean, I've finished quite a few of them because I was reviewing. Luckily, there was some
Hmm.
reviews I could get out without really needing to play the whole thing because I've played the whole thing on a different platform. So it was more just looking at the visuals. There's been
The-
no changes.
yes, I have Moss as well. Yeah, so many games. So yeah, it's a great time for VR. I think definitely for us anyway. The fortunate few. Which
Yeah.
actually I saw today, the PSVR 2 is hitting shelves on May 12th.
May
I want to
12th.
say.
Yeah, May 12th, yeah.
Yeah. So for those people that were waiting to buy it, that's they don't want Sony to send it to them, you can go into a shop and buy it now or
Yeah,
soon.
May the 12th. Hitting retailers. Might bring some more people, like you said. I know there's some people are put off from just ordering it from Sony. I don't understand why it came directly from the company who were making it, but I know it's a put off for some people. I think it's shops the ease of return, isn't it? If you go and buy it in the high street, you can take it back if there's something wrong without having to like go through all the
Yeah, in
hoops.
this day and age where you will have anything delivered. Like I get my toothbrushes delivered to my door. Why am I not gonna
Yeah,
buy a headset off the internet?
it will be good. I'm hoping some shops will think about doing demos. Um,
I volunteer as tribute. Like I'll come and work for you. Yeah, totally. Um, let me demo PSVR all day.
so while we're on the talk about new headsets, I think it's a good time. I've been trying out the DPVR E4 headset.
I saw this. A couple of people it popped up, and I am super curious. How big is it? Can you bring it with you?
Um, should be able to.
I totally want to play this thing, but like, so what? I mean, there's obviously a review out there or coming soon, probably.
There's a review out on my website already. Yeah, I put it out
Yeah.
last week. Spent a week and a half just playing with that thing. That's what kept me off my PlayStation. Apart from a couple of games I wanted to review on PlayStation. Other than that, I was like, I'm going in the in that. I need to do all the testing.
So
It's very very light.
I've not read the review, but I'm going to go ahead and take a guess that it's a perfectly functional headset. Tracking is fine, but there's no games available for it yet.
Yeah. Well, it's Steam VR. It's wired only. It's made
Oh,
for
okay.
PC only. It's made for Steam VR, so plenty of games out there. I was quite interested to see a company take that step away from what's becoming the norm and trying to get wireless out. They're like, no, we want to make one. The original slogan for it was for the elite players, and I thought it's PC Master Race.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
But they did.
So,
They did remove that slogan by the time it released.
the panel when it's for the elite players, is it as good as say an Index?
It's the same. They're using a single LCD panel, same as Quest, and my avatar's broke.
So's mine.
Everything's broke. Yeah, I'll carry on talking. Neos has actually just crashed, so that's why my avatar's broke.
Technical issues. New host, new problems.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Avatar.
it's got the panel of the same panel as the Quest to use a single LCD display at 4K resolution. That is what they chose to go for.
They're not overly elite, really. Then.
No, but what they aim for, they said I've spoke to them about it. They've aimed for, they say it's for PC. For PC, obviously you get no decompression with the with a display port cable, so the image does look a lot sharper and better clarity because you're not getting wireless or USB-C, which has some decompression. So the displays, everything looks beautiful in it.
Okay, that's good to know, I suppose. Because there's a number of different options now. The big screen headset.
Yeah,
A lot of people are testing them, and they seem to be quite pleased.
Yeah, they said they wanted to make it an affordable PCVR headset, which
Yeah.
at $549 is an affordable one compared to your likes of your big screen, which is what, 1,000 without any controls or base stations.
Yeah, I mean, the big screen one definitely. If for me, the big screen headset is there for people who have an index. They don't want to buy another index, so they kind of need to upgrade it because theirs is shabby or broken. And so the people that would spend £1,000 on an index will probably spend £1,000 on a big screen one because it's super small and light and comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think that's the logic behind that headset. It's not there for everybody. It's there for the enthusiast.
Yeah.
Whereas this sounds like it's filling a gap in the middle of the market that's below HTC. It's below Valve. And then, of course, Oculus don't make PCVR headsets anymore.
Yeah.
They just make mobile ones that have, as you mentioned, high compression through a USB connection. And so I guess it is kind of ticking a box. That box used to be filled by Oculus, by Meta. With the Oculus Rift, you could pick them up for £400. There was nobody else that was really doing that. But then they just seem to have stepped away from that market. I hope they go back. But at this point in time, I am not gonna back that horse. Like,
No.
Yeah, it's not.
So with this, it uses inside-out tracking. So there's no cost for base stations.
No, yeah, it's all in one kit. The controllers look very totally not like the Oculus controllers at all.
Yeah, they are basically Quest controllers. A bit smaller, like in width, but yeah, a bit smaller in width, but a bit, and the ring is on an angle rather than just in a circle.
Okay, I mean, honestly, at this point in time, my probably favorite VR capable, PC capable headset, probably the Pico.
Mm-hmm.
The Pico 4, obviously, because it's a cheap headset, like it's technically cheaper than a Quest by like £1. There are areas that they've shaved funds. Number one of them being the battery, and then the other one being the microphone.
Yeah.
The microphone on it is just garbage. But other than that, it's a very nice headset. The balance of it's pretty good. And it has a funky little fan on it that cools my face as I play.
I don't know if the streamer just seeing me run about.
I'm literally everybody's watching you running around your house. Welcome to Paul's crib.
Oh god, I don't know.
This is a wall. And now he plays peekaboo in the garden.
Now I'm running into a wall again. Go over there.
Oh, this is awesome.
Now I'm in a chair. And now hopefully I'm back. That was a long journey.
You need to relax and put your feet up and enjoy a nice cup of...
And the problem I was having...
What the hell is this headset?
The reason you got a tour of the house is because last time I saved the world, I had the media player open and playing. So when I came in, it was playing music. You shouldn't have heard it on the stream because I've set my audio up different. But I was like, I need to make sure I've not got this music playing in my ear.
Part of me was just like, he was listening to his favorite playlist while he slayed dragons. Yes, when you saved your Neos world. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have my Twitch chat anymore because, yeah, because the joys of trying something new. But yeah, anyway, I'll keep talking about E4 while I try and fix it out. It's got a 116 diagonal field of view.
which I mean that's a whiff away from an index, so that's pretty good.
Um,
I think it's like the top trumps of VR, except I've forgotten all the numbers.
I like it's got that.
I think it's 120.
Yeah.
No, it's 110.
I thought index was 120.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's actually bigger. The horizontal FOV is between 107 and 110. The vertical is 95 to 108. The Quest is 103.
Offers 120 hertz. You've got your free settings on there of 120 hertz. It's 90 hertz or 72 hertz, depending on which one.
And this is all done within Steam, or is there additional software?
They've got their own software.
Ah, okay. Because that's one thing that every single headset, aside from the Index, has required yet another program to be running.
Yeah.
At the time, Oculus, HTC, you've got the Vive port thing that you have to have installed. So
it runs through its own.
It's one thing that I would like to get rid of. But even like Pico, you need the string assistant to use that.
Other thing with it is it has no manual IPD adjustment. It's all software based, so you can't actually move the lenses at all. So in my testing, I do mention in my review, I've got like a nearly average IPD. Like the average is 64, man, 63.8. So I don't know whether this software actually works because it's like normal for me anyway. But it's all software based, so the actual lenses don't move.
Which is what kind of? I mean, presumably it's not a pancake lensed headset at that price.
It's Fresnel. They're using basically the same lenses as the Quest 2 as well.
Okay, basically. All right. It looks a little bit like a Quest 2 shoved into a Lenovo shell.
It's
like
got
the squareness.
Flip up design, which sorry if I've just gone grey. I'm just opening my Twitch chat.
That was something that I did like the sound of on the Cosmos, except when you flipped it up, you could basically see your nose and anything below it.
Oh yes, I've seen the flip up on the Cosmos, and this is very much this. You basically just see the side. It's basically using the same facial interface as the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rubber, so you flick it up, you do see each side of the rubber basically. That's all you see. It's just on the sides, so it's a very clear view, which is good because they've done pass through, and it is the worst pass through I've seen on any headset. So
that's telling.
It's good that they've put this flip
I will have to plonk you in a Pico. I'll have to get you in the Pico 4.
All the brightness of the headset is set through their software as well. And if you do buy one, make sure you look at that because it defaults at about 20%. And when I first put it on, I thought, these screens are so dark, it's awful. And then I opened the software and realised it was set at 20% as default. I settled around 60, 62, I think 62% is when I found it looked right. Any higher than that, it looked too bright. Any lower, it looked too dark to me. So.
And yet, the index, I get in there and just go straight to the top.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm insane like that.
There's a big issue with it. I've reported to them. They know of this issue, and that is the haptics in the controllers are very unresponsive. So
okay, in that they're just super weak, or
like you notice more when you play rhythm games. So you'll play Synth Riders, Beat Saber, which pulse, and it's very important to those games for the beat.
Big thing, big feel.
It's either weak, either goes weak on and just goes, actually, I don't want to work for this one. They have said at the moment, obviously, it's not been out very long, that they are releasing bi-weekly firmware updates to the headset and controllers, and the technical team think it's just something they can fix through firmware because to get them to work properly. So we'll find out if that works.
Audio is built in or no?
Audio's built in the strap. Yeah. It's like
And is that
Quest 2. It's like
interchangeable or?
Quest 2 quality, but a lot more. Well, I wouldn't say a lot more tinny, but more tinny than Quest. To the point where I do plug headphones in when I play it. They've got a weird setup because from the headset you've got a breakout box that goes about a third down your back that you plug a cable into,
Instantly lost me. Okay.
and then it goes down to a breakout box that goes to the power and plugs into the back of your computer. So there's two.
So there's
There's like two
two
breakout boxes.
breakout
Yeah,
boxes.
one. But the breakout box that goes like about a third down your back, that's where the 3.5mm jack's in that for your headphones.
And what kind of interface is the headset to that?
In
Is
which way,
that
sorry?
a USB or is that
It looks like a
display port,
display port. I
proprietary?
think it looks like a display port.
I wondered if they got other grand ideas about connecting it to like an Android phone or
Yeah.
like the only reason I can think of to put like a 6-foot cable on it is if you're going to use it without the breakout box at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would connect it to a Steam Deck or an Android phone or something like that, but it's the only possible reason I can think of, other than they just have no clue what they're doing. Which, with it being labeled the number 4, does it mean that I've missed 3 of them, or are they just kind of
The other three have been
not wanting to seem like noobs?
Enterprise. They've only sold to Enterprise.
Right.
So this is their
So they've
first
done it
consumer
before.
one, yeah.
Huh.
But
I wouldn't mind looking into those.
you don't really feel that like much like for things that she had to go around, man. You don't really feel it much, even though like it's not like it weighs it down. It's still like it's a really light headset. It's Halo strap.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, me personally, everything you were saying is just turning me well off.
Yeah.
Is the mic any good on it, or is that just trash as well?
The mic's better than the Quest mic.
Really?
Yeah.
Because the Quest mic is pretty solid.
Yeah, I found it slightly better than the Quest mic when testing it.
Okay, that's, I mean, big tick in the box for that one then.
Yeah. It hasn't been
But
like
yeah, the Halo.
for the price. I don't think it's.
Do we know what it is in the Queen's money or the King's money?
No, the website just has it in dollars.
Okay, is it even coming to this country, or is it just going to be like a
The ship worldwide,
China and America?
ship worldwide, but mine that came from them to review had a European plug and not a UK plug, so I had to get an adapter to switch it over.
Yeah, I've heard of many a headset that comes like that.
Yeah.
The Cosmoses that I've had have all had, I think they're American plugs.
But yeah, so I'd recommend it if you're just getting into VR and you just want a PCVR headset and you don't want to go out and spend loads. If you want like one that's made for PCVR, not made PCVR, like a second thought for it. If you just want one that's directly made.
It'd have to be a pretty special headset for me to not say just go on eBay and buy like a Vive or a Rift or even just honestly, I have such a great experience with the Pico. I'm not even overly bothered that it's not made for PC.
Yeah,
really
that was
not.
my worry when the obviously came out and they were sending me one. I was like, it's gonna have to be something special for people not to think I'll just buy a Quest with it. But I mean, if you're looking at the top value Quest and then add in a link cable to it, it's probably the same price. Like you're looking at the bigger, like the higher Quest, not the 256 or whatever it is. And then
is that how big it is?
I don't know.
It might be a 120. No, it's 128 and 2. Yeah, it must be 128 and 256 because it was 128 and 64.
Yeah.
And then they just ditched the 64, right?
Yeah. So like by the time if you're buying one that the 256 one, then the link cable, you're probably paying the same money anyway. Like you said, the Pico's an option. But I had a good experience with it. It's not like let me down. I was expecting. Perfectly honest, I expected to go in and be really let down by it, like to a point where I'm like, what was the point? But I was pleasantly surprised.
Well,
or
if you ever
just
want
for
to
the
sell
cost.
it, I know people that will happily store it on a polystyrene head.
At some of the points I did like, even some playing Half-Life Alyx, they looked really nice in there. I mean, I've been playing Lone Echo 2, which I completely forgot to change all the information for before the stream. So if you were at the beginning, I said I was playing Lone Echo 2. So it does revive. Obviously, I expected it would because it's just a Steam VR headset.
Yeah.
My concern was the controllers. I know they're just basically like Quest controllers, but sometimes they don't work, and they
If
don't
it
have
ain't broke.
they don't have their own bindings.
Did you? Oh, that's a big thing. They need to fix that.
Yeah,
But
within
you managed
but
to
with
break a Quest controller.
but within the settings in the program though, you can it's set as standard, but then they've got two options: joystick, which basically makes them CV1 controllers. So if it doesn't work on standard, they don't have binding, just switch it to joystick and it makes them CV1 controllers. Basically.
That's not too bad, I guess.
Even like the little model
It's a barrier for entry.
like the little model in this in Steam VR is the CV1 controller. It replaces the model of their controller with the CV1 controller model.
I'm trying to think if the Picos have their own. I
Hmm.
believe they do. I can't remember now. I think they do. But no, so you managed to break a Quest 1 controller.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would break this one as well?
No.
Or
No.
does it feel a bit more robust?
It feels very light, and it feels cheaply made compared to other controllers, but it's like a solid build. I'd say it's probably between the Pico 3 and Quest controllers in like quality. Because I know Pico 3 were quite like, you could angle them by pulling
they
on the
were
ring and
kind
stuff
of
and things like that.
scarily bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sort of in between, but I've never had any worry I'm gonna break them. I mean, I don't even know how I broke my Quest controller. I just basically one day turned it around and looked at it, and it was a split in the ring. I thought, well, I haven't hit any walls or anything, so I think it's just been.
This is it. I would say that is a fairly weak controller. If
Yeah.
Because I know that whilst you've certainly used some VR headsets, I don't think you've abused them.
No.
Which is what makes me think it's kind of a weak controller. And you've seen like a million different pictures on the internet of Quest controllers with split rings and stuff.
It just seemed like the rings weren't.
Yeah,
the split in the rings weren't very well done with it. Cause, like.
Yeah, I think like a lot of things these days, a little bit of a lottery with them as well.
The most robust controllers I've had are the Vive ones. I mean, I never want to use them again, but I've hit those off walls playing Gorn. I've smacked them on walls trying to bowl, and there's more. You've just got the hole. They've just got a dent in your wall and paint on the controller. I'm like, well.
I may actually have some of those now. Should check that out. I should crack the Cosmos out just for at least a go.
Yeah, I mean, I think those Cosmos controllers would shatter Earth before they break.
Oh yeah, no, you could definitely use them as a defense mechanism if somebody breaks into your house. They look the part too. You turn the lights on and it's like a tribal thing just running out. But I donated that Cosmos to a good cause, and then acquired an Elite instead. So I think I've got Vive ones in there. I'd probably just use the index controllers. But anyway,
that's what I do with my Vives. You never want to have to use a Vive ones.
Is there any like capacitive buttons on there, or is it just the only way they react is when you pull them?
There actually isn't. Which I thought there was when I was first playing it, but then I realised you need to press a button in to make your thumb go in. And the triggers and grips obviously to make your hands go in.
Yeah. So It sounds like maybe for a first attempt at consumer headsets, fine. Hopefully they'll learn a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
Because they are way behind the curve from what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Like I said, the only
But it'd be interesting to
like in that in my review, I said I'd recommend
see
it
what they
if you're
do.
looking to get into PCVR and you're working on some sort of budget, or you want like a headset that's made for PCVR. That's probably the best option to go for. Like you said, if you're willing to go second hand, you could probably get a Vive kit on eBay for less than it. But then you have to use ones. Remember?
Very possibly. I'm a glutton for punishment, and I have saved searches on eBay, and one of them is a Rift S, and they are going for less than 200 quid. I missed out on one for 135 the other day, and I was kind of gutted.
I've still got my Rift S on them myself.
So I've never like of all the headsets I put on my face, the Rift S is not one of them. So I just the curiosity drove me to a Cosmos, and it's driving me towards a Rift S as well.
I've not been a fan of the Rift S. Like I bought one when they came out.
No, I think I'd hate it.
And then I've used it every now and then. Replace the CV1.
Yeah,
I couldn't be bothered
totally
reviving stuff. And then, yeah. Then I just decided revive.
There are a bunch of games on the Oculus store that I can't play, and I'm wondering if it's because I'm trying to play on a Quest. Makes me wonder if it's not a replacement for the Rift.
Yeah, because I know there's
I can't remember what the last. I think the Edge of Nowhere, I think, was the last one I tried. It didn't work.
Have I played Edge
Pretty
of Nowhere?
big.
I've played Edge of Nowhere, but I don't know if it was on my Quest. That might have been on my Rift S.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I'd go and fetch the Rift out, but I just can't be bothered. I'll just miss that game.
Yeah. So speaking of games, let's go back to PlayStation VR. We'll talk about this. Is news that shocked me when it first came out. But we will get around to have decided to fix it in a way. First Contact came out with a blog post about Firewall Ultra on PlayStation, and the blog post was like button press reloads only, and it sort of kicked up a stink.
Why? I mean, were they bragging about that, or why did they think that would be a good thing to point out to the community?
So when they've been questioned on it, they've basically said they wanted to make it accessible, easy for anyone to pick up and play. But then obviously there's people who play, like myself, who play a lot of shooters in VR. Like, well, you're just taking out. I understand it being button press reload on the PlayStation VR because you had the aim controller, you had the DualShock, like, or the move controllers.
Yeah.
So there was no physical way to do it as manual reloads.
Yeah.
Then I said, "Oh, it's on this," and it sort of divided people.
I can get that. Yeah, I get that. There's a lot of people that like they're not a fan because they can't like cock a gun or something when they reload it, and then there are other people that's like, yeah, I kind of don't care. I fall into the second camp really. But it does make me wonder if they know something that the world doesn't.
Well, that's one other thing people saying, like, is there going to be another move controller?
Are they designing this around a peripheral?
Yeah. That's a question that came
Are we going to get
Twitter.
a new aim? I mean, there's no reason why the aim wouldn't include the ability to do half of the crap that we want it to do. But maybe they know a thing we don't.
But they have listened. They listened to the people who obviously, like myself, who was like, it could be a game changer for people. It was a game changer for me. Like, I was like, I want a manual reload. Like, I've played most of my shooters in PCVR, and manual reload is something that it's a tactical shooter. Make me manual reload. It's a realism thing for me. And there was someone on my Twitter who's like saying it's not a game changer and people are making too much of a big thing about it. And if you read he was like, it breaks realism for him because he's got no no experience of handling a gun, so why should he be able to reload and cock a gun perfectly every time? I was like, but that's not the point. But yeah, like I said, they have listened to the feedback and said they are going to bring in post launch. They haven't given it a date yet. I know we were saying we don't understand why they haven't given a date yet, so why can't they get it in before then? But they have said post launch they're going to release a hardcore mode, which will be manual reloads, friendly fire, everything will be on there to make it like an ultimate tactical shooter. So that'll be interesting to see when that comes out, how quick it comes out. I will play with button press in the meantime, I suppose. But yeah, do you think it should be a game changer?
For me, no. Purely because I don't think that it's. So I don't want to steer it away from the topic, but also it's moderately relevant. Breaches.
Breaches, yeah.
Do you miss it in Breaches?
Breaches is like a hybrid, though, isn't it? Breaches are like you press a button to pop the magazine out, then you put the magazine in. I know you don't cock anything, it auto does it, and each gun's got a set time as to how long it takes to be ready to fire, which obviously like sort of negates the time to cock a gun. But I don't miss it in Breaches, but that's sort of hybrid. So you still get the thing of putting a round into it, like a clip or whatever, magazine or whatever into your gun. You still get that interaction.
So I didn't feel an overwhelming need to put like, you know, to cock a gun and stuff like that when I was playing Breaches.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would miss it if I didn't have to do any of that stuff. Most of the time, especially if I'm on Index, everybody knows I have very, very sweaty hands, and I basically have issues with the grip on the Index.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing anything like that and I can't let go of the clip or something like that, it bugs me. I have a worse time. So I'm gonna welcome that. Like, I'm the guy who goes into After the Fall and I'm just like, yeah, let's turn off advanced reload. Let's just reload like a moron. So yeah, I don't miss it at all, and I'm not gonna miss it in that game. I'm really not. The question is, will people have any kind of a tactical advantage doing it themselves? Or will that be the big thing for, you know, like, if you're doing a match, you have to use that reload, or you can't use that reload, or
Yeah.
It's divided the community, and it's also going to mean that yeah, the whole thing's just potentially going to be a dumpster fire. I don't know, because the firewall was like the go-to app for PSVR.
Yeah.
But I feel like in a world where everybody now has controllers, that it might not take that mantle a second time.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the best PlayStation had.
Like they've got Pavlov now.
That's not going to be the case anymore.
Got Pavlov now.
Yeah. So, is there even a place for that?
But I think they've done it the right way, because, like I said, they did say the button press was for accessibility and stuff to make it playable for everyone. So they've done it the right way by making a separate mode, because, like you said, what if, like, someone like me, I can reload in After the Fall in like a second. So if I could get that down on Firewall, would my reload be faster than someone pressing a button while it's doing the animation itself?
It'd definitely be beneficial.
So
if you could do it well, you could definitely benefit over the.
So I think it's good that they're separating the modes. Sticking with the guns, but then again, they want it accessible, but then separating was, like you said, what if a majority just go and play the hardcore mode, and then the people who want the accessibility mode don't have players to play with? It's like it's a risk.
And what if, like, you get into a match and you're at an advantage because you're using the easy mode for reloading, Are they going to split the matches to people that only manual reload and people that don't?
Yeah, they're doing standard mode and
Or
hardcore mode. So if you wanted the manual reload, you have to play hardcore mode. And people who, if you're wanting a button press, you've just played normal mode.
Which, once again, you've got an online PvP game that you're potentially splitting the player base.
Yeah.
Meaning you could end up with, like, the first game where it's just chatting in a lobby simulator.
Yeah.
So, I want to play the game. I do. But I just don't know if they're going to be able to capture lightning in a bottle again, because isn't it also like kind of like a modern rehash of the old game?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it even
it's
different?
just like it's like these Resi remakes we're getting. It's just that's just a remake, better lighting, better built from the ground up basically. But it's going to be the same maps. It's going to be the same. So it's like a remake rather than the second game.
You think about Call of Duty and their multiplayer, it's just all just like, oh, we've got these 3 new maps. And then you remember that one in a suburb that everybody loves? Yeah, that one's in it too. Like, they are rehashing a lot of the same stuff. So I guess there's groundwork for that kind of behavior. But I feel like they need to do a little bit more than just make the last game again.
I honestly think if team who make Pavlov, if they can convince Sony to allow them to bring mod framework into the PSVR version, Firewall won't have a place.
I guess it's the logistics of how. I know they did it in the past with like Unreal Tournament and things like that. You could mod that, but it was a bit less great. So maybe there is a player, like a way that it's doable. That's gonna be between them and Sony. We're never gonna find out until it's either a thing or not a thing.
Yeah,
might not be worth it financially.
Yeah,
I imagine Pavlov's still got quite a player base on the PSVR too.
Yeah, but it's like the only shooter again, isn't it, as well, at the moment, really? Like, that type of shooter.
They're first to market. And that could be a big thing for them.
Yeah. So with the, back to Breaches, I think we also with the Breaches reload is, Firewall want to be like the ultimate tactical shooter, where, for me, Breaches is tactical in a Rainbow Six sense, but fast-paced in a Counter-Strike sense.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I've only played against bots. I don't want to play against people. I want to play against my friends, but I don't want to just go online and be like, "Oh, hello, person I've never spoken to before. We're now bestest friends." And yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm not that guy. I am not the fighter. I am not the killer of the group by any stretch.
Apparently your face has gone.
Yeah, I think you may need to just re-accept the video. I thought maybe the video behind me.
I know what the problem is. No, I know what the problem is. Give me a second.
It's so what it is that I swapped cameras on Discord because I thought maybe the video behind me was causing the blockiness. So I thought maybe if there's less information, it would be potentially less blocky. So I've gone for just a blurry.
Relaunching into Neos was the problem because it had hidden the pop-out window for your webcam, and Discord, if you do the pop-out webcam window, it needs to be facing out. It blocks the webcam off. So there we go. It should be working now.
Yeah, but I should be, as long as I don't ever move my face, I think I'll be mostly focused.
Just don't move. I think the problem is I've got that many things open.
Yeah, no, apparently
it's probably eating loads of stuff up. So I said next time.
In future times, we'll fix it.
Next time I'll probably do a webcam of my face. Yeah.
That's totally fine.
So then we've got.
So yeah, that thing. Breaches, as I say, not played it, but definitely had fun with what I did.
Yeah.
Get into against bots, and the bots aren't like totally stupid. I did die a few times, not as much as they did, but yeah. I killed a bit of time just killing bots in deathmatch. That game needs way more levels. And it would be pretty dope.
Yeah. I like you said, it's got the Counter-Strike system. I mean, the Pavlov used it as well. Better perform. you win rounds, you get more money, then you can buy better guns, attachments for your guns, things like that.
And doing it right because it's on 3 different platforms: Pico, Quest, and Steam.
Yeah. So it's got a
So
good
lobbies should be
side
full.
player base, yeah. Cross platform play, what you want. I've played a bit with indie, Mac and people like that. They don't like playing with me. They call me a camper, but that's my Rainbow Six days kicking in.
That's what that game is, though. That is
Yeah.
totally what that game is. You have to. It's you think somebody's gonna be guarding this bomb, so then you have to find them and kill them before they kill you.
Yep.
Which is very firewall-y, no less. Is Breaches coming to the PlayStation 2, PSVR 2? Do we know?
Yes, apparently it's down the line.
If they can get to PlayStation before Firewall do, then
Yeah.
Firewall's gonna miss like a massive. People are just like, "Why? I just play Breaches. It's fine. I'm not gonna buy that game again." It's
Speaking.
to be decided. Maybe it can. Maybe the game's past can bring it forward into the future, but
Speaking about games going to
we'll
PS2, Zach has in an interview with Upload has said that he's had positive talks with Sony about Vertigo going to PlayStation
I did
VR.
see that. I did see that. And hopefully, well, the thing with me is I'll come to Vertigo in about a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
That's generally how I played. Like the remastered had been out for a year, and I owned Vertigo, knowing I have to own Vertigo. I own Vertigo, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, the remastered version's out using the engine from the second game. Oh, and if you own Vertigo, you've got it." I was like, "Brilliant!" And then I waited for a year, and then I played that. So yeah, I'll probably catch Vertigo 2 in like a year's time. But it just looks like a massive cheese dream.
Yeah.
I was worried it was like a RTS shooting PvP game, and when I saw the VR showcase?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is not the Vertigo I signed up for." But it looks like that's definitely not the case, which makes me incredibly happy.
Yeah, that the trailer at the showcase did make me think it was like there was RTS elements to it, and I was like, "No, I don't want that. I just want Vertigo." But yeah, this wasn't. I don't think the trailer sold it the best way. But yeah, these had positive talk, so hopefully PlayStation VR users who only use PlayStation will have a chance to play them, because the games you have to play.
I wonder how hard it is to port, and if Vertigo 1 will be available as well.
Yeah.
That said, you don't need to have played 1 to play 2, I imagine, based on what I know from 1.
Yeah. I mean, he said he's not interested in bringing it to Meta. In the same interview, he said he doesn't want to ruin his vision for the game by having to downgrade it to work on a mobile device, which I think is good for him sticking to his guns on that. Not thinking that's where the money is. I'll go and I'll make it a lesser game than what I want it to be.
That is absolutely it. It is truly the fact that that's where the money is, because there's just that many headsets. But yeah, you have to, because that game to me, it's like it grabs a mirror, rocks on up to Portal, and goes, "That's you, that dumb sod," and then like just playfully mocks Portal the entire time, up to and including the physics, and then the graphics as well, which I don't think a mobile headset's going to be able to do.
Yeah.
So that said, I've not played Red Matter 2.
Red Matter 2 on the Quest looks fantastic.
So
it does. It looks really good.
And Meta have done the whole, "We've only seen about 60% of the Quest's power," and I'm thinking, bullshit.
I know.
No way is there more under the hood of that than what because like I'm playing Windlands 2, and I cannot figure out how they've managed to shoehorn that massive world into a Quest.
Yeah.
So I just can't see it having more under the hood. And I do think there is a fair amount of legroom with Windlands too. I think they've optimized it very, very well, but I just can't see it having that much more to give.
So Red Matter 2 is also something that PlayStation fans are getting soon. PlayStation fans, PlayStation VR users are getting soon, and if they've got it working well as say they have, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Because it looked beautiful on the Quest from the saying of better lighting, 4K textures, running at 120 hertz with no reprojection, because it's using the foveated rendering. I think it's just going to look fantastic.
It's going to be, yeah. I've not bought Red Matter 2 yet, and now I know why. Because in my heart of hearts, I was waiting for that one.
Yeah. I'll play it again when that comes out. I'll play it again when it comes out. I did think I said in my Red Matter review after some time I'd probably go back and play it again because I was that impressed by it. It's been some time now, and why not play it on a different platform?
Why not? Indeed, there's many a game for the PSVR 2. Say the Moss games, there's not, by all accounts, compared to a PC. There's probably not a great deal of difference.
Yeah.
But you've got facial haptics, and you can stare at her, and she'll stare back at you. And I want to try that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, even old dogs, I kind of want to see him with the PSVR. I still kind of want to see Moss. I still want to see. I really want to see the Zombieland.
Zombieland looks
Because I don't
so beautiful in the PlayStation.
Did PC get that upgrade, or is that just
No,
completely
I think it's just completely
owning?
Sony. I think.
I totally want to see that. That looks dope.
I think Sony might have done it because isn't Zombieland a movie by Sony Pictures?
I
Can't think it is or not.
will tell you in a minute. I think it's Universal, actually.
Might be. I was gonna say if it was Sony Pictures, I might be like, give us the best one.
Is Columbia. So,
Oh.
no, not Sony Pro.
Your mic's gone mad for me. I don't know if it's gone mad for the stream.
It's Columbia Pictures. Wait, Columbia Disney? Columbia Pictures, Independent Moving Pictures. Owner is Sony. Yeah, no, it is Sony by all accounts. Columbia is Sony Pictures.
Sony Pictures, yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can imagine. Why not bring us a nice update version? It looks beautiful. It does. Like the whole new art style and everything is just fantastic.
Should not have closed that window. I could use it for things. What else did I pre-ordered something else. Not well, pre-ordered. I wish listed a thing on PSVR 2 the other day because I was like, and I can't remember what it was. Can't remember. I would turn it on, but I don't want to.
What did I wish on PlayStation? Oh, it was a PlayStation VR. It was just a standard PlayStation game. It was Uncharted.
I keep threatening to play Sea Smash. Not played that yet.
It's really good. Really
so I
good.
need to do that.
That is really good.
It looks it. It does look it. I was chatting to one of the creators the other day, and yeah.
I downloaded it, not expecting what to think about it, and then, yeah, I played through the levels that are in the demo multiple times, trying to beat my score on just those. So I was like, this is going to be then it's multiplayer. It's probably going to make it even more entertaining.
Yeah, it would absolutely. I'm just so many games I want to play. So many games. I'm slowly working through them. I played Ark Park recently, which was super old and dated.
Yeah,
but I do need to get back to the PSVR. Maybe next week. That'll be the week. I know that I'm gonna lose a bunch of time to Horizon.
Yeah.
So maybe I should put that off. I'll play Sea Smash and then bookend it with the Between the Eyeballs or whatever it's called. And then I'll just dedicate my life to Horizon until that one's completed.
We've got the name's just gone. Oh my god. One with all the people in. Is it Humanity?
Ah, yes, the one with all the people. Oh yeah, Humanity, the Lemmings game.
Yeah, and that's coming to PlayStation Plus on day release for
I
PlayStation Plus
saw that,
people.
so I'm not even gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah, not even
Lovely.
any reason. I was going to reach out to him and say, let me review it, and then I was like, I don't even need to now. I'll get it with PlayStation Plus.
It is PlayStation Plus and not Plus Essential or Premium or whatever the hell it is these days.
They've just said
Right? Like
PlayStation.
it's just
They've just said PlayStation Plus.
cool.
Because that was my
Cool.
worry, was it going to be like the top tier PlayStation Plus? But no,
Yeah.
it just said everything just said PlayStation Plus, so I'm guessing it's just going to be the standard.
That'll be I guess it's got a non-VR mode then.
It has, yeah. When you launch it, it's normally in big screen mode. Well, when you launch a demo, it's on like the big screen, and you have to click launch VR, and it just switches it to VR.
Ah, nice.
So
I keep threatening to get the Saints and Sinners upgrade so I can play that on the PSVR because I've not played it on anything. So I own it on PC, I own it on Quest, and I own it on PSVR because it was free at one point.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm so tempted to buy the upgrade just so I get the upgrade. You have to just buy the deluxe pack, right? And then it becomes PSVR 2
yeah,
able.
yeah. Check though, 'cause I think it was up to a set date, so I don't know if it's
Oh,
passed.
balls.
I think it was. I think one of the games was up to a set date. It might not have been that one. I don't know. I think one was like, might have been after the fall. Actually, it was until a set date. Was free. It was a free upgrade till a set date, and then you're gonna have to pay for it. I think. One of them had a set date. That might
That
be worth
sounds
looking
honorably
into.
true. I'm totally not googling it right now.
No. But yeah, that Humanity, the demo is fantastic. I've played the demo levels. I don't know how many times on that as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, Enhance always do fantastic stuff anyway, so I was expecting it to be good. So a game that's not out but has taken the Twitter players by storm is this Unrecord, the body cam footage game. Looks
Yeah.
hyper realistic. Looks. It takes a lot to like figure out that it's not actual real life footage made on Unreal 5.
I really did. Yeah, I just was like, oh, it's just somebody wearing a camera on their face. I genuinely fell hook, line, and sinker that was actually just footage.
Yeah. So obviously it's took that by storm. It's took the VR space by storm, and I think it's just an interesting talking point on. I've never really felt this myself until this point. Something that realistic, shooting people in VR. Is it going to be good for people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, at what point are we just breeding murderers?
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna get PTSD from playing games in VR?
Sorry, I've always been on the thing of don't blame games for that, or don't do this and don't do that. But on this, I was like, I can actually see this being a problem for some people. Blood Trail is another ultra-violent one, but you can tell that's a computer game. It's crazy ultra-violent, but I've got that, and yeah, it's got the realistic footage of people, realistic bullet damage on people and stuff, but it's clearly a computer animated person in front of you. And that could be bad enough for people, but to me, I was just like, is there a step where you need to stop in VR? I know people say we've been shooting realistic looking people in Call of Duty for so long, but it's still very much a computer. You can tell it's still a computer game. And we're not shooting them in VR in Call of Duty.
Speak for yourself.
I mean,
I've done it.
I've tried some, like, Call of Duty through Vorpex and things like that, but I mean, the guys basically turned around and said, no, we're not getting. I mean, the guy hasn't turned around and said to get in the VR mode, but obviously they've already released footage of it working in Prey Dog's upcoming Unreal Injector. So
That thing's just like they keep teasing us with it,
Yeah.
but then yeah, he cannot get that out quick enough.
I honestly hope for him he either puts a charge on it or makes an option to donate to him. Because these Resi mods
Yeah,
and stuff are outstanding.
yeah,
And he obviously puts them out for free. Like, to me, even if he's just charging a small amount for it, he needs to get money from it. I know people like, I've joined patrons to get stuff. Like,
Luke Ross mod,
yeah, I've done the Luke,
Patreon right here.
I've done the the Luke Ross one. I have done one for a shader for basically, I can't remember what the thing is called, the program's called, but someone released like a shader thing where you have to mess with it a lot, but you can make every game look like it had RTX. And his patron was like £2 a month or something, but when he actually went on and seen all the members, he was making like 20 odd grand a month off people for this one little shader. And I just thought, and then you've got him doing all this work, and I just hope he doesn't, or if he gives it out for free, he allows people to donate him money who want to pay him towards it.
It's so there's a couple of things. There's one thing that and once again I've been chatting to a few devs about this. People that are going to steal your mod or steal your content, they were never going to pay for it anyway.
Yeah.
So I think the people that will pay for it will pay, whether there is a paywall on there or not. But there are other people that may just be inclined to be like, well, it's free. Like I've not felt the need to throw money at Prey Dog, even though I've dabbled with the Resi mods.
Yeah, same here.
And maybe I should, because I'm the guy that backs Luke Ross on Patreon because I wanted to play the Horizon mod. So I don't know. It's a bit weird. I guess if there is that paywall there, people that are willing to pay it will pay it. Whereas if there is no paywall, people just won't think twice.
Yeah.
Now I feel like an ass. I need to give Prey Dog money.
I'm not getting ready for the Resi one, but like I'm hoping, like I said, he does do a donate feature on it. Because I'll definitely donate towards that one. It kind of must take a lot of work to build that program. So around this conversation of this Unrecord, Balls asked a question in there. Might as well get it in now rather than at the end because it's at the part of the conversation. So he said, what's more likely? Someone plays a violent video game and decides they want to do real violence, or someone with violent tendency getting their fix out with a violent video game instead of going out and doing real violence? Or are the two wholly unrelated?
So there is definitely that is a good question, because I always sort of think to myself, like, if on one hand it could breed somebody to become the murderer we don't want them to be, but on the other hand it could allow somebody to scratch an itch.
Yeah. I know I've always said it's video games have always been a good stress relief. Some days when you're annoyed, just go and shoot a few things on Call of Duty and you feel alright. But then you've got a chance of, like you said, I think it could work the other way around as well. Someone might start to get more violent because, especially if they're becoming hyper realistic and looking as good as that, like as good and as real as that does, could that cause it more?
But then this leads down the alley of, will this person become violent with or without video games? And it's just an element of it. Like there's so many different elements. You could say that Grand Theft Auto has bred a nation of careless children that just want to crash cars and murder people.
Yeah.
But then, would they have done that anyway? Is there a certain element of blame to just the parents and the environment that's led them to that situation?
You've got to think it as well in a way. It's just the next evolution, isn't it? We sort of have the issue of it's just next evolution. Manhunt created killers, but it didn't really. It just made unhinged people. But I don't even think the people
I mean, the biggest.
who did it were. Even now, I don't think it's because they played Manhunt. I think it's just, even if they didn't have Manhunt, they'd probably still be doing it. It just happens. These murders happened around the release of
created
Manhunt.
so many killers, you know.
Yeah. How many killers?
Dungeons and Dragons that created murderous cults.
Yeah.
The game Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It's just another thing to blame, isn't it? Rather than other issues that maybe potentially need fixing.
Yeah. You've got to think, like the Manhunt thing. Like, there's one murder from someone playing Manhunt, and they're like,
control.
It's like the one murder on Manhunt in the UK, and they're like, ban it off the shelves, blame Manhunt. How many people have played Manhunt that hadn't done that? It's got to be something wrong with that person. Like, I played Manhunt. I enjoyed Manhunt. Didn't make me go out and murder someone, or even think about murdering someone. It's just this
is why I say that we can't blame the video games. Like, it's got to be an element of mental health needs addressing here, because you and I have played games where we've, like, you know, screwdrivered people in the face. Yeah. We don't feel the need to go out and do, like, we are able to separate the fantasy and the reality. Yeah. Even in VR, we can separate the fantasy and the reality, whereas some people aren't capable of doing that. Should you need to take a test to play a video game first? Maybe. I don't know, but I don't think the problem lies within the content that people view.
No. You see more violence on the news than you do in video games, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, if you're going to go out and buy a violent video game, you're not, but the violence on the news is more readily available than the violence in video games, to me. You can turn on the news.
If you want to see violent
days,
content,
like,
you can literally just Google it.
Yeah. YouTube it, Google it, whatever you want, you can find it. It's just a subject. I know that it's probably gonna rear its head if games. I know this is one game, but if this is what games are gonna start looking like. It's gonna be another big uproar, isn't it? Somewhere. This game did it. But just more for this side, on the VR side, is it too much for VR? But it's just the next development in what games are going to look like, I suppose. My main concern about the unrecorded in VR was you actually shooting people. I think if you're shooting zombies or monsters, it probably wouldn't seem so shock value.
I guess. So once again, you're playing like Breaches, all right? It's not hyper realistic.
Yeah, you're still shooting people.
You are still shooting people. So
yeah,
it is a thing, I guess. But then I'm not gonna go and murder people because I did it in a video game. It's just doesn't. The two just do not even link for me.
Yeah, your parents have taught you murder's wrong. Violence is wrong. You've been taught that by your parents.
There's pretty much one golden rule you have to live by, and that's just don't be a dick. Wheaton's Law is kind of the best.
Yeah.
Would that person not like it if I did that? Yes, they would. Then don't do it.
Don't do it.
Brilliant. Don't be a dick.
Life is simple. Life's a lot more simple if you're nice.
Oh, it is, yeah. Especially if I kind of didn't. I stopped lying, because I'm just can't be bothered with the garbage that comes with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to remember. Oh, did I tell that person this thing? I'm just have the truth. It's just I can always say the same thing because it's the only thing I know.
Yep.
So
being a liar is the best way to catch yourself out.
Yeah, definitely. But as far as the video game goes, yeah, I really love the look of it, and I would totally play that in VR. As I said, potential PTSD, because I'll be like, holy crap, like a nice person like me. Wait, no, I'm evil. A person like me could potentially play that. A nice person like you could potentially play that and then feel like, oh my god, I've done a horrible, horrible thing.
Yeah. But then
Although I feel like you would just be like, video games.
But then in my brain, I might think, oh, I've done a horrible thing. You know what? I'm going to go and do that horrible thing to somebody in real life. I wouldn't think that. Because it's a horrible thing to do in a video game.
See, a friend of mine and I used to always joke, because it's not shooting people, but it is in a similar vein. So we like cars, and have you ever thought to yourself, do you know what? I would love to lead the police on a high-speed chase because I think I could outdrive them. You know, that kind of thing. And it's one of those thoughts that you have, like, you pick up a knife and you're like, if I lick this, I could totally cut my tongue. But then you dismiss that thought because you're like, no, that's just stupid. Let's not lick a freaking knife. And it's one of those thoughts that you're just like, I kind of want to test my skills against the police, but like, I would have to have like a terminal diagnosis or something stupid for me to do that. If you ever see me in a high-speed chase on the television, just assume that I'm dying.
Just assume you've gone a bit crazy.
Yeah.
You've been given a time frame. Like the same thing. It's been that sort of curiosity is what gets you through your life, isn't it? Like, I know as a kid, I used to get to the top of the stairs and think I can jump down every stair if I run fast enough. I couldn't, and I didn't try it because I knew I wouldn't. But in my head, I could. And it just follows your life. Curiosity killed the fox. Remember that. It's just a very interesting. You think of stuff like that, but then, like you said, you don't go out and do it, and that's the difference between people with a sane mind and people who maybe have something wrong with them. If they weren't going to get it from a video game, they'd get that from somewhere else.
They would. Absolutely, they would. I think most of the time at this point is bred elsewhere anyway. Yeah. And if anything, video games is a release, not a cause.
Yeah. Oh, I had something else to say on the matter, but it's gone. It's gone.
I mean, I did once get the urge to put a tiny little mouse, put a sword in its hand and send it down a maze trying to kill a snake. Reality ended differently.
Yeah. You've now just got a snake with a sword in its belly. And no mouse.
Video games made me do it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like with this as well, that's what I was going to say. Like I said, I've got blood trial or blood trails, whatever it is. And when that first came out, I was like, I'm not buying that. That's way too, like, the bullet damage is too realistic. And then I've got it. I've played it. That's all. like, playing it didn't feel as bad as I thought it would with the realistic damage to people. But like you said, if this game came to VR, I'd probably play it and probably be like, that's a game. That's what I see when I play Blood Trials. It's a game. It's not a real person I'm doing it to. But in my head, when it first got announced, I was like, at that time, I was like, has that game gone too far? Because it was so realistic with like shooting people and the damage that it'd actually do to that person. I thought, is that too realistic for VR? Got it, played it. It's a video game. And they've got ratings for a reason. That's what parents need to remember. Ratings are for a reason. I'm saying this now I'm older. And I'm old enough to buy everything, but ratings are for a reason.
When you're a little kid, it's just like, it's fine. It says 18, but I can play it still. All right, fair enough. It's a video game. Games can't be bad. I may not have ever had that conversation, I swear. I can answer a couple of queries. What? Yeah, sorry.
I think the worst thing about being an adult is when you go into a game shop and, I mean, it doesn't really happen much now, but you used to go into a game shop and there'd be someone there, can you go and buy me this? It's like, no. Because you're already asking me to buy you it, it means your parents don't want to buy you it, so the answer is no.
Yeah, it's I've never had to ask anybody to buy me my stuff. Typically, my dad was just like, "Yeah, it's fine." When I was like 10, I was buying Bottom Live in Woolworths.
Yeah.
And the person behind the counter looked at me and then looked behind me, and he's like, "I cannot be asked to walk around this barrier. Just give it to him." And the woman was like, "All right, fair enough." And then she sold me Bottom Live. So yeah, whilst I've never been denied that kind of stuff, and here I am, super villain of VR. So yeah, don't let you kids do it, I guess.
Yeah, like I think it's mad when you see parents buying the kids things and they get questioned on it, and the person's still going to sell them it because it's the parent, but then they're like I've seen it in game. I think it was one of the Assassin's Creed games. The kid had picked it off the shelf. The mum was like, "Yeah, okay." When she got the counter, the guy behind the counter said, "You do realise it's got this rating for a reason." And that's all he said. He wasn't saying. She went, "Yeah, it isn't for him. Are you like trying to say I'm a bad mum?" And I was like, "He's going to sell you it. Like, you're clearly buying it for him. He's just seen him give you it off the shelf. Like, he's just warning you. It's got this age rating for a reason. So if your kid does do something stupid, you can't come back to the shop and say, 'Well, your game made me do it. Made him do it.'"
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think that the word assassin
Yeah,
in the title was a little bit of a giveaway,
yeah,
but some people are that dumb. That said, some people in game are also dicks.
yeah. I mean, in Middlesbrough, most of the people in
Um,
game are dicks. So
my wife, so me and the wife will buy a game that's multiplayer, and we'll buy 2 copies. She went into game, she bought 2 copies, and the person behind the counter went, "Oh no, these are the same game." She was like, "Yeah, I know. I want 2." Like they were mansplaining to her that she was buying 2 of the same game, as if she thought she was going to get the Division 4 by buying 2 copies of the Division 2. I don't know what it was. I really don't. But I was just like, what a dick. And that shop's now closed.
it sounds like off topic from gaming, but I'm the same. Like, I'm a very with steak. A steak shouldn't be cooked very much. It's how it's made to be eaten. Like, I'll get my steak blue, but sometimes, like, the amount of times you go into a steak restaurant and go, "I want it blue," and they go, "You do realise what blue is?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I'm asking for it that way." And
Yeah, like
I'm like, if I didn't know what it was, I wouldn't be asking for it in that specific way. It's just
I get it, and it's great. It's nice that they're nice to do that, I suppose. But at the same time, sometimes we think to ourselves, "I kind of just want to. I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone." I don't know. Maybe I would be fine with somebody saying to me like, "Yeah,
I did actually ask.
maybe get it a little more."
I did actually ask one of the staff in one in London. I said, "Why did you?" Because he was being like very friendly and joking with us, and that's just like me and my friend. I just said, "Why do you ask if I wanted it? Well, when I asked for it blue, why would you say, 'Do you know what that is?' when I've asked for it?" And he said, "Because some people see it on the menu and think I want it blue, and then we bring it out and they go, 'Well, that's not. That's way too raw.'"
It's just like, you've not cooked my food. It's like, I know you asked for it.
That's how you asked for it. Yeah. So they said that's why we asked,
I
because he said some people don't actually know what it is, but just see they maybe like it rare, but then see on the menu there's a rarer one of it, and think, "I'll get that
Yeah,
one." And then
they
it
think,
comes
like,
and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And he said we have to
blue
then
cheese.
cook it, go and cook it again. And I'm just like, no. I said, if I've got mash, my mash has got to be coloured red by the time I've finished my steak.
That's a brave stance. You may die one day in a horrible, horrible, painful way, but in the meantime, you're going to enjoy your steak.
Meantime, yeah, steak is good.
Luke Ross definitely. Luke Ross. Preydog definitely does have a Patreon. I'm now a proud supporter of Preydog. You get nothing for it. It's just like, you can give me money if you want. You're gonna get nothing for it because everything's free. Just go over there. But yeah, you know, you can have £2 a month to feed a Preydog for just £2 a month. You can give money.
So what's got me really excited about Prey Dog's mod is the first thing they demoed with it was Ready or Not, which I love. In flat screen, it's hyper realistic SWAT team game, and it's really really difficult. But my big issue with bloody hell, my biggest issue with it is until VR I was a console gamer, so I don't play mouse and keyboard, and the person who's made this game has put no control support in it. So I might just really be really bad at it because I have to use mouse and keyboard.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that would definitely be a barrier, especially in VR. Although I watched PD play in some game about photographs. What was it called? I can't remember what it was called now. It looked really great. And he was playing that in VR with keyboard and mouse,
Yeah.
and he seemed to be fine. Maybe he's just an absolute legend, though.
I think Prey Dog's mod he showed it with, that was one he showed with six off controllers. So I'm guessing he's mapped them to the actual game mapped them to the VR controllers.
Would probably be what I did ultimately. I would just buy a keyboard. I've done it in the past, and it's gone. Interestingly, Oblivion came out on the Xbox 360 with Xbox Pad support. And I was like, brilliant, I'll get it on the PC because it'll look better and I'll be able to do stuff. So I got it on the PC, and there's just no controller support whatsoever, and I was not a keyboard and mouse gamer at that point in time. So I ended up shoehorning the keyboard to mod, the pad to keyboard mod emulator on, and doing it that way, and it was functional. I'll say that, but I think you could probably do a decent experience between that and Steam these days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's one I really want to play in VR. It might make it more difficult because the AI is that good in it, but that's what the guys wanted to make like that. It's meant to be difficult. It's meant to be like a realistic SWAT game.
Sounds, yeah, no, that does sound. I can't remember what it is, but I think I do. Is that one's free, right?
Ready or Not? No.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of a completely different game then. So, no, that's absolutely fine. The other thing that I've been trying to confirm is the upgrade path for the Saints and Sinners, because there is a PS5 version, there is a PS4 version, there is a PS4 and 5 version.
Yeah.
And I'm trying like mad to upgrade to the Tourist edition, and it just keeps giving me errors. So I don't know. I've just found one-handed mode for my keyboard. That's tiny. So I'm trying to upgrade. I will hopefully. I need to remember my Sony sign-in details.
I'm terrible.
That's great news.
No, I'm absolutely terrible. It's always my Sony one. Every time I go to log in, I just give up and put the app on my phone. I was like, I'm just gonna use the app.
That's what I've opted for.
Oh, God.
I've gone to the app, and the app is asking me to sign in to buy Saints and Sinners.
Oh.
That one's not right, apparently. Okay.
Because before that, any time I went to buy or log into the Sony website, I was like, yeah, it's time to reset my password.
And your email address, apparently.
Oh.
Sure, that's the password.
So yeah, I've tried the Saints and Sinners 1 on PSVR 2. It was just like, it's like the PC version, but again, I think the HDR and things, and they've updated the zombie animations and stuff, so it gives it a bit extra. It's like graphical power of PC, but it's got maybe better lighting, and the animations have been updated a bit on the zombies.
That's the thing. I mean, facial haptics and
facial haptics.
It's all just. Maybe I'm just a hoarder of games.
See, I've actually reached out because I wanted to play Retribution on the PlayStation VR 2. I reached out to them, and then they give me a code for Retribution, and then they're like, said thanks, and then he messaged me saying, oh, do you want one for the first one as well? I was like, if you're gonna, yeah, okay. I'm not gonna say no.
If it's going.
Yeah, if you're gonna give me one. Well, I did say if you've got a spare one, if there's someone else that would be more used to, feel like keep it. But then he was like, "Oh no, there we go, have this one as well." I mean, they've probably got loads.
Okay, that's incredibly annoying. So on top of everything now, I can't find the password on my Chrome, but it's automatically signed me in. There's a time and a place, and this ain't it. So, where were we? Sorry,
It's
I'm
okay. I think we'd come to a
easily distracted.
stop anyway. If anyone want to ask any questions, feel free. Because we didn't come with any topics apart from a couple. We've sort of expanded on them a bit. We will get used to this again.
I know.
We will, and I will hopefully
It's a
sort
busy
performance
time.
a bit more out.
The next time we perform this podcast, I will have been able to poke a fox.
Poker Fox. Oh yeah, because we're going to meet on each other on Sunday.
Game of the year so far. Yikes!
Wowzers.
You are just coming with the heavy hitters.
For me, damn. I thought that was
It's like
going to be easy.
March, April. It's April, and already we're like, I can't pick. I've played some really great. I've played some really bad games this year.
Same.
I could certainly say that.
Yeah, some bad
I
games,
did...
some games that have shocked me at how good they actually were.
What was that?
A Night in the Attic.
See, I saw that, and I was very much interested, but my constantly growing backlog, I am remiss to spend money on games. So that game looked fantastic, though.
It was a big. I expected it to be okay because I like it when people try and do some things different. In VR, and it's basically like AI inside VR. Like the board builds out with this little board you're holding. The character's on a marble, so you just tilt the board to move around the level with the character. It's very simple. It's not like it pushes boundaries and difficulties and stuff, but it just seemed like, for me, I didn't know what to make of it and what I'd make of it, and then when I was actually playing it, I wanted just to continue playing it until I finished it.
Yeah, that is a great sign. See, I mentioned earlier, I play games like 3 years after they've been out. So the likes of I played VRnoid the other night, and as simple and basic as it is, I absolutely love that game. Just so much I love that game. It's maybe not the game for everybody, and it's probably not the game for me. Like, I don't like moving in VR. Love VRnoid. I really do. So that one was definitely one for me. I'm loving Wonder. Yeah, I'm loving Wonder. That's a great game. It looks absolutely stunning, and it's just giving me all of the great fun times of what I'm wanting out of a game.
Yeah.
So they're certainly good for me. Have you played a Medieval yet?
No.
I need to get round to that. I also want to try the Crisis mod.
Crisis mod. It's going to be the
So,
new Can Your VR run Crisis?
yeah, will it run Crisis? I should bloody hope so. So I'm gonna try. So my homework is I'm gonna play those PSVR games that I keep mentioning that I've never played, and then I'm gonna play Crisis and that other thing I said and did earlier. What was I saying now? Crisis and a medieval VR. I'm gonna give that one a whirl as well, so they can talk about that when nobody gives a shit anymore.
So I'm trying to think. Still game of the year. Why we're having this conversation so far?
I'm scrolling through my Steam library. That's why I'm coming to this whole.
We talked about it earlier. Vertigo 2.
That's okay. I mean,
Vertigo
that
2.
makes sense to me. That does totally make sense. And I probably would share that sentiment. Like, it's going to be great. I'm great at delayed gratification.
Another game I played this over the last week, coming out 11th of May, but I was surprised when I got told, no, there's no embargo. Talk about it. We'll do a review about it. A Fisherman's Tale 2. I'm not going to obviously talk massive about it. But
Wait. There's no embargo on that game at all?
they just don't want you doing any big spoilers before it comes out.
Okay, yeah, no, that I was just like,
so I
play
think
the entire game on stream.
Yeah, I think you can't stream it in full until after it's out,
Makes
till the
sense.
day it comes out. But
yeah,
to review it, I've played it to review it. What's going on with my arm?
That game looks fantastic. Oh, if you lost an arm again, you lose an arm every time.
No, the arm was like glitching. It's like it was opening, but I'm not touching it, so it shouldn't be opening. Interesting. This arm
So yeah, there's that. I love VRnoid. It's the amount of times I look at a game and I'll look at a game like that and be like, that game looks like it was made 30 years ago. I don't care. And then I play it and I hate myself.
Yeah.
Because it's so simple looking and yet it's just so great fun. I wrote off Beat Saber for a very similar reason. I was just like, oh my god, anybody can slice blocks with a freaking lightsaber. And then I played it and I was like, okay, yeah, no, I feel like a badass. I get why people dig this game.
Yeah.
And then Meta bought them and, it all went to shit. I'm also planning, I don't know when I'm going to do it, but hopefully one evening I'm going to get out into the garden and play Eye of the Temple.
Oh yeah, with that big walking space.
So that's something I'm looking forward to as well. That might be a very great experience for me, especially now I'll be free on the Quest. My thought is, though, that if I'm playing it on the Quest and I'm casting the Quest to the house, then why can't I just cast the house to the Quest? And why did I not do this sooner?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll record on headset and lav me up to a phone and do a video about it. That's probably going to be the better. I think a stream might be a bit too bad. For me. So I guess game so far I'm calling it VRnoid. I'm calling it. Oh wow, I forgot I own that game. Thanks, Paul.
What about?
I need to play that.
So 13, another good one there. If there's any game you think a change could make into a winner from a mech game.
A game that could become a winner
from a rubbish game just by making a change.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this because I don't. Yeah.
I can't remember what the game was called. It was again another really old game that's been made into a VR game, and I played it and it was terrible. But
I'll just say that I gave Justin some feedback and hopefully it changes things.
Can't think what it's called. I mean, it was a very unforgettable game because it was rubbish. But if it give you free
PC game,
if it give you like free locomotion, it was like a very very early game, point and click game, but it's been made into a VR game. It hasn't been out. It only came out this year, and it was terrible. It was like you point at something and brought up the thingy to click to walk to it, and it like took you to the door. If you needed to get a key, you like use a little, you pressed or you held grip or something and then pointed at the keyhole and it would then put the key in it. It was just all still very like, they didn't do anything to make it VR. They just basically just mapped the VR controller
on somebody's face.
Yeah, basically just mapped the controller to replace the keyboard and mouse buttons basically.
I have no idea what game that is, and now I'm ridiculously curious.
Oh, I can't think what it's called. The puzzles are dead confusing. Like you needed to get a bird out of a cage to get past some to get some wall to open and stuff like this. It was very very weird.
It can't be the game I'm thinking of because PD loved that game. Is it something to do with a cave? Oh, crap.
Cave's in the name.
Yeah, oh man, that's gonna bug the. Right, okay, I'm googling. I'm just googling. Vamp for me.
Actually, a bad game. Why is googling this? A bad game that could be made good by just a simple change is Peaky Blinders. A simple change of just make it more true to the series. Like, I know they had the voice actors in there and give you a role of this thing, but it just seemed like there wasn't enough.
I've only played a demo, and as I found with Sam and Max, the early parts of a game are naturally incredibly polished so they can show it off.
Yeah.
And then later on in the game, it became trash. So I'm wondering, because the demo I played was pretty dope. Like, it had all of the polish and all of the sort of finesse of like a Saints and Sinners.
Yeah, they give me like a preview and it was really good. I think it's what they took down to the expos. And then after that, it just gets null. Doesn't get any better.
Probably the one that's just on Pico as well. The demo that's on Pico.
I'm not sticking my tongue out. Colossal Cave.
I was going to say, I'm sat here looking at the Colossal Cave.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering if that's what it is.
That's
but it doesn't mention anything about VR support on it.
I don't know if it's only out on Quest at the moment. Maybe it was a Quest game.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of websites saying Colossal Cave is in VR, but the one that's on Steam is not.
Yeah.
So I guess there is a VR version that's purely on Quest.
I've left my seat.
Ah, yes, the chair is empty. So we were wrapping up then. So I don't know whether we missed any other questions.
Indy was just wondering, were you drinking out of a baby bottle?
Me?
Yeah, apparently. At some point. I think he's meant your sneak bottle. Oh, I don't know what you're drinking out of. I can't really see.
It's just a gigantic water bottle.
Oh, was it?
Full of not water.
Just ignore Indy anyway.
Never.
He's a punk.
What accessory do I want making for a PSVR 2? I'm torn between a better head strap or
better speakers.
Probably a gun, I guess. It was one of the things that made me want a PSVR was the freaking aim controller. So.
Yeah.
But that said, in the world that we live in now, I could probably 3D print something and have a perfectly fine experience with a piece of drain pipe and my 3D printed cups. Most guns these days, they're just sticks with hooks on.
Yeah.
And they're not actually holding the controls anymore. So at that point in time, I'm just like, maybe I don't need somebody to make a gun.
Maybe better headphones. I know you've been got the free gens, but as we've spoke about, we don't really use them.
Well, the thing is, the reason I don't use them, aside from the fact that my entire head is ready to explode right now because they're squeezing the life out of it, the main reason I don't use them is purely because when you plug the dongle into the PlayStation, Sony says, "Oh, you want audio to go that way, do you?" And I'm like, "Well, what about the people watching me? Do they get audio?" No. Oh, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid. Sony have done this for the last 3 consoles. I don't know why they've not made it so audio can go 2 ways. I don't get it.
Yeah. Actually, something that it's not even an accessory, just something Sony can do. Get them to integrate bloody Twitch chat and stuff into the headset somewhere.
So you can read it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you can hear it apparently. I've never gone direct from a PlayStation Live to the internet. I've always had a thing in between.
Yeah.
The first one used to show like if somebody typed more than about 8 words, you were fucked.
Yeah.
And then the second one will read it to you, but apparently it's super quiet.
Yeah, it just needs some sort of integration so you can look at it.
It's a step up. I mean, it's more than what Meta are doing.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do with a Quest to pipe any kind of external audio and or like Twitch chat to your Quest. There's nothing you can do. So, it's. I mean, we're moderately lucky that we even have outgoing microphone. Although, once again, it's so quiet that it's pointless.
Yeah, when you put those headphones on, it automatically makes sure you have to use those headphones. Like, you can't say actually use a PlayStation mic still. Like, for when you're in the games, it just automatically says, "Oh, you've got those headphones on. You're using that microphone for in-game." Which
and the mic on these are trash.
Yeah,
it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
it's as bad as the Tilt 5, and that's saying something.
So yeah, we will wrap up here. I think that's every question now. Thanks everyone who joined again. Thanks to Dr. Ock for agreeing to become a co-host of it. He's here for
it's a pleasure.
He's here for the punishment.
It's where I do everything.
Like I said, next month when we go live, we will have actually met in person. We've got some plans for this weekend. No naughty plans, just plans to meet up. But yeah. Oh god, I'm gonna jump out my chair so you don't see me like sticking my tongue out like you have most of this stream, because for some reason my facial tracker decides my nose is my tongue when I put my headset on my head. And you get a sticky tongue out because I can't actually do anything from my desktop on Steam for some reason at the moment. So
I mean, it sounds like Neos is kind of a barrier for entry for you as well.
Because at the moment it is, yeah. But I think it's because I've got like slobs running a virtual camera, so I could give capturing Neos. Now I've got OBS capturing Neos because I want to. I think I've just got way too much going on. I think next time I'll just have to. You'll just have to see a normal webcam, so I'm not using virtual camera on slobs.
I've not looked at you once, mate. I'm sorry.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you're probably looking
all for nothing.
Looking at chat and looking at this. So next time, I'll just join with my headset on my face because you don't look at me anyway.
No, that's totally fine. We'll figure that out. We'll figure out the logistics. Join us for technical issues next month. Same bat channel.
Yep.
Whenever we decide.
I'm running away. Ha ha ha.
Do it.
Yeah, when we will do it one day next month. We can talk about what we do on our day we meet up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Neos doesn't even want to let me like change my camera now either. Wow.
Good times, everybody.
Good times. It's all broken. I'm staying out my chair. You'll just have to pretend I've left. But yeah, thank you for everyone who's joined. And again, like I said, thanks, Doc, for coming in. We'll be back next month. We'll talk about what we did on our special day. And we'll hopefully have some more subjects. It's going to be very short.
We definitely will. We definitely will.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. I'm waving, but you can't see me, actually. If I try.
I can't wave.
Goodbye,
my
everyone.
Doesn't like it.
Big hand. Big fingers.
That's what she said.
Until next month, catch you all later.